Thank you very much. Wow, I'm quite loud up here. I am Ethan Evans. I'm VP of the Amazon App Store. And what I want to do today is try to talk some about where we see the future of gaming going. So some of the sessions today have covered how to launch your current game and where you can put it and how to optimize it. And those are very important concerns. I want to also address what we think is coming over the horizon, so you can think about where you want to take your games for tomorrow. So gaming has come a long way. This is the origins of gaming at some level. Where have we come since then? How have things evolved? Well, I just want to begin with a thought experiment. I would posit there are two types of people in this room. There's the set of people who saw the iPhone coming and saw the impact the App Store would have. And all of us would like to say we're in group one. We totally, the minute it was announced, we understood how the world was going to change. Then there's group two, which I won't have you raise your hands, but group two are the set of folks who didn't see all the impact that smartphones would have. Well, what I'm here to do today is to try to give a little vision of what we think the next jump, the next transition will be. So what's going to happen to games now? They've moved from the arcade. What's coming next? And that's what I want to try and help you anticipate. So mobile operating systems are going everywhere. They're no longer just mobile. And this is one of the big changes I want to talk about. This oven from a company called, I think, Dacor, is Android-based. It has 3 separate apps to control the oven. There's a remote control app, there's a cooking app. So when I talk about mobile operating systems are truly going everywhere, if they're going into your kitchen and your oven and into your interface as well as your remote control app of that oven, I think we can say honestly, pretty soon everything is going to run some version of a current mobile OS. So I do wonder how this will stand the test of time 20, 30 years from now when it's in your wall. But the point is, everything is getting the mobile operating systems installed, and that opens up one potential new future. So on that point, look at the different places mobile operating systems are today. Everyone, of course, knows phones, knows tablets, but things like Amazon Fire TV, we're now going to the big screen using the same OS, and therefore the potential to run the same games, or to run variations of those games, extensions of those games. The next thing on the slide, wearables. We have watches. I would actually argue your phone is a type of wearable. Every single person in here has their phone in their pocket. It's just a wearable you wear in your pocket, but we don't necessarily think of it that way. The same platforms are going into cars. So they're going to be, again, more and more ubiquitous, which allows your gaming experience to be more and more ubiquitous. The universe of game experiences is therefore expanding, and it's expanding along multiple dimensions. I'm going to talk about some of those different dimensions where gaming is evolving and how you can take advantage of them. And the key I'm going to tee up is, okay, making games for multiple screens, multiple devices is hard. People have tried to do it before, and they know it's difficult. Where are you going to get the time to do that? And that's the question I'm trying to answer today, which is, great, nice vision. We're going to have this one gaming experience on all these devices. How am I actually going to build that? If I'm a small developer or even a large one, how am I going to get this to work? So with that in mind, let's look at games on multiple screens to begin with. This is a screenshot of Amazon's Fire TV game, Sev Zero. The thing about this game is that it has a companion experience on the tablet, but the experience is not duplicative. The game itself is a shooter. The TV-based Fire TV controller-driven game is a shooter. The ride-along app on the tablet is essentially a helper app. It's a lighter weight app where you can add or subtract resources, and it's supposed to be truly additive to the first-person shooter gameplay. It's an interesting game because as a mixed mode, you can have one person playing on the TV who's more the core gamer in the household, and one person helping along on the tablet who's more the casual game. Simpler controls, easier things to do, but still participating and still fully involved. You also can, of course, have this tablet running not in the same room, so you can do this over distance. So here we were exploring different ways to use multiple devices in an immersive, contiguous gaming experience. This is part of the future we see coming. And it's complicated to build this because you're really building one game in two pieces, but it has to be able to operate one player or two player. So this is part of the future you can think about when you're looking at what games are going to come next. How are we going to have games that work well on multiple devices and that are unique and distinctive? I love these throwback pictures. I had and wore out several of these. Well, the next point is games are starting to, we're seeing new input methods come online. So many of you, I'm sure, are familiar with Oculus VR and the new resurgent interest in virtual reality. That's something hardware development is enabling. And it's another challenge for game developers, another type of screen, another type of control, another set of inputs we have to think about. And these new input methods, whether it's touch or gesture or camera-based, create new game opportunities. And I think the next wave of games are going to have to use some of these. Now, by all means, there will be great phone-only games made today, launched today, made tomorrow. But the open field where you can be first and where you can seize that first mover advantage, right? Now the app stores have 1 million titles. The first mover advantage there is gone. The place where you can do that is to look at using these new methods. So taking a look at Fire TV, this is our recently launched set-top box. The key here is we have a voice remote that really works. You speak, it knows what you're looking for. That hasn't been applied to gaming yet, but I'm using it as an analogy to what's going to be possible. We haven't seen yet great voice-controlled games, but voice recognition in mobile platforms is evolving very quickly. And soon you'll have the ability not just to accurately recognize voice commands, but potentially to build games based on recognizing and differentiating multiple different speakers in one environment, whether that's the living room or on a mobile device. So what kinds of games can you build using voice as a new input? I don't answer that question. Instead, since we're looking at the future, I posit it because it's a chance for somebody to be first and to be distinctive and to be viral because they're the first person to have really figured this out. Next, our Fire Phone as an example again. Fire Phone ships later this week. It's been announced for a while. We have something on it called Dynamic Perspective, where the phone follows what you're doing and where you're looking, and that allows new gameplay mechanics. Just as virtual reality puts things on your head and lets you get some of that experience very immersively, well, this does it without any hardware you have to wear. So it's going to create, and I'll be showing next, new game mechanics based on this. So yesterday we announced a game optimized for this phone, Tofu Fury, and I'm going to play a short clip from that to give you a sense of what you can do, and specifically the mechanic used is by moving where you're looking, you can actually peer around corners. You'll see this in the video. You'll see the phone moving as the player moves their head to look around the corners and is able to actually see more of the game playing field in the small mobile screen based solely off of where they're looking.
Soldiers of the Hoshi clan, our evil plan is threatened. The warrior Tofu has appeared as foretold. lightning. His reflexes are swifter than a samurai's. He has humiliated warriors 10 times his size. He has a secret power known only to those who possess Amazon's incredible new fire phone. The ability to look around corners simply by moving his head.
Tofu has a head?
Speaking of his head, if you do not bring me his, then you should fear for yours.
So Tofu Fury will be available on our phone, shipping later this week. But the key I'm actually making here, besides the fact it's a great game with a new mechanic, is just an example of the doors it's opening to new types of game development and new ways to look at creating an immersive experience and to get more essentially visual real estate on the same screen. This continues the theme that as we go to more and more types of devices and the mobile operating systems proliferate across everything, game developers need to be thinking about, okay, how is that going to apply to each of these devices and each of these input schemes? So, like I said, new devices and input methods are appearing every day. This is your opportunity to expand reach across multiple screens and to create experiences that allow your users, your customers, to interact with games in different ways. So, to this point, I've been talking about history. This is what's here today. Now let's talk a little bit about how do you build for this future. And at Amazon, we believe this jump is happening right now. We believe this transition into the next wave is coming today. And if you want to be a part of that wave, it's time to start thinking about it, because the devices are shipping now. The Fire Phone is shipping, Fire TV is shipping. You've heard about other things already here at the show this morning, and those are coming. And I think the next truly breakthrough game won't just ship on a single platform. Do I have an answer? Is it going to be a combination of wearables and gaming that way? Is it going to be a tie-in to your car or your location? No final answer, but let me show you some of the things we've built that try to anticipate this. So for Air Patriots, one of our games, again, from Amazon Game Studios, we've set up sync across multiple screens. You can play a level on your phone, you can play a level on your tablet, have that progress saved, and continue the game on your TV that evening from the same point and have a seamless experience across all of those different screens. We believe this is more and more important. So it used to be games could be purely self-contained on the phone or on the tablet. Now we think great games are going to need to at least have state synchronization across platforms, if not involvement across the different platforms, as we showed earlier. We provide a service to do this. Others do as well. It's not, this is available to you, and it brings up one of my points. A lot of games, other than the most simplistic mechanics, are going to need to start harnessing some sort of cloud features or cloud back-end support in order to implement this new future. Which brings me to game components and operations in the cloud. I've described this brilliant future of using different inputs, using different screens. Game developers know that takes time. It's not free, and time is your most precious commodity. Where are you going to get that time? Well, our opinion of that is one place you can get it is to move the undifferentiated heavy lifting, the plumbing of your games into the cloud. Start moving your state storage, your back-end computing into Amazon Web Services, and level the playing field so that no longer are you spending your time building a big server, you're spending your time building gameplay, making use of these new mechanics. And we think that's where you then free the ability to go deep into exploiting your games, which I believe is what most game developers want to do. You don't want to be building back-end state storage or other services. So with that in mind, I'm going to tee up another short video. This video is for our AppStream service, which gives the ability to do graphically intense rendering in the cloud and deliver it down to a platform like a tablet. You're going to see two clips here. The first will be just a demo of the power of the service, running a physics simulation that in no way could a tablet processor handle. And then the second piece will be an actual game we have in development that makes use of this. So I can talk over the first piece because it's silent, let you know what you're seeing. The second piece, which is one of our games in development, has sound, so I'll let it run on its own. The key about the game is it's a hybrid. Part of the Chrome of the game is rendered locally on the user's device, but the thousands of animated characters you'll see on the screen are all individually animated in the cloud. And what that means is that you're able to provide a console-like experience on a device that could never handle tracking that many individual characters and rendering them all as independent activities on a mobile device. And this is a service we have live and available today. So, without further ado, we'll start with the physics. This is a simulation of hair. You can see the little round circle tracks what the user is doing, but all the tablet wouldn't be able to do that kind of hair simulation in real time. We're doing that in the cloud and then streaming it down to the tablet. The input is coming off the tablet. And then in a minute here, we'll transition to our actual game in development, and you'll be able to see what's possible in terms of gameplay. Every one of those characters is an independent entity. One of the things you'll see is when they suffer a setback, they turn around and run away. And they're each running an independent AI, figuring out what they should be doing, and yet we're able to deliver this whole experience on a mobile device because the heavy lifting is in the cloud. So when he dies, all his little minions freak out. And they all start heading for the hills. So that's an idea of what's possible with the new emergent power of the cloud running behind your games. And we believe this will, for some games, set the new standard of expectation. This is going to come to market. Other games like it are going to come to market. And that will level set what people are expecting in the future from their gameplay on mobile devices. So there is a full session on this tomorrow. I won't go into it more here and now. But if you want to hear more about this, tomorrow at 10 a.m., what game designers need to know about the cloud, we'll have a further demo of the AppStream capability as well as our games in development. And you can hear more about that there. So what I've said is that we believe there's an opportunity to contextually tailor games across different screens and different control types, and use the same great characters that you're investing in familiarizing with the market and creating their backstories in different contexts. And we believe that this is where games are headed. Immersive experiences from the couch. So wrapping up, we also see truly mobile games, handset games, as a gateway to where experiences have a better chance to monetize positively. So the last bastion of of very attractive price points to sell your game is actually in the living room today, on the console, on the PC. And this is an opportunity to walk your players up that value chain by getting them in the door on something they're used to sampling, playing quickly, trying a lot of things, which is the phone or tablet experience, and move them onto the big screen and into a more immersive premium experience. So, in summary, we see a move to new inputs, new types of controllers, many more screens, and using the cloud as the back end to get the time to build these experiences. That said, that's my whole point. The next jump in gaming is happening right now, and this is your chance, hopefully, to be in that group one that anticipates and sees this and is going to get there when it arrives. Thanks very much. I appreciate your time.